So Ultimate's been out for enough time that I feel like a lot of people have a good grasp on the game. They kind of know what they're doing, they know how to space, how to get a good amount of damage out, they know how to use their mobility and a lot of other things, but I feel like a lot of people have kind of hit the plateau where just spamming a ton of games online isn't doing way too much for them. At least that's what's been happening for me. So today I want to talk to you guys about 4 ways that you can win more games and can get a little bit better. With that said, let's get started. So as I just mentioned, I feel like people, again, have a good general grasp of the game, and I think a lot of people are just kind of playing it out how they think their character's probably going to work. But one thing that I'm going to say that a lot of people are kind of ignoring or not really putting much time into is learning your character's combos. And not just, going into a lot of matches and see what moves usually hit into other moves most of the time, but actually going in and looking what moves always link into other moves, and knowing pretty much every move that can go into another attack. Now, you might say that this would take a little bit of time because you do have to go into training mode and try out every single attack into another attack, which can be the case, but as well, a lot of the times right now you can just go up online, search up your character's name, combos, and figure them out like that, and then try to replicate them like that. As well, if that doesn't exist, maybe look up on Smash Chords your character name, get into your Discord, find the combo sheet, and there you go, another way to find your combos. You don't necessarily have to find them yourself anymore, there's a lot of resources, but there's so much benefit to knowing your combos and actually practicing them and being able to use them. Essentially what it does is that it will just up your damage output so much every single game. If you're getting, 4 to 5 hits on every single initial hit, while your opponent's only getting 1 to 2, even if your character does less damage per hit, you're going to be doing better than them. And that's just kind of how the simple case is. And even if you just learn a few combos that up your game from getting, 3 hits to maybe 4 or 5 hits, that's still a lot of potential damage that you're gaining that you definitely would have had otherwise. So right here, what you want to do when you're trying to learn combos is learn the very basic ones. The ones that, again, are, 2 to 3 to 4 hit combos that you can pull off every single game that really aren't that hard to set up into. I'll let you Squirtle, for example, because I've been playing a ton of Pokemon Trainer. Maybe we'll want to try to figure out a combo off of his up tilt. Maybe not the easiest move to hit in the world, but I could go up tilt, depending on the character, up air, forward air, maybe up B. There's a lot of different options here. And that's kind of where it comes to you to figure out, just look up these combos online. But what I definitely not do is put in a ton of time learning these very intricate combos that just won't actually work in your game. If you have to hit a certain move that is very small, that is very unlikely to start up a combo, then you probably shouldn't try to start learning that one first. Maybe leave that for like 2 months in the future and start with the very simple ones now. If you can just get your combo game with other people, if you actually practice it in training mode, learn how it works on different character sizes and weights, you will improve so much faster than other players, and it'll really be worth your time. Now, the next thing I'm going to say right here that a lot of people have trouble with right now is learning how to kill without just using smash attacks. Now, I know that this might sound basic to a decent amount of you guys that are really good at the game, but for a lot of players I see online, essentially how it goes is that you use all your different moves, try to get damage up, but when you want to get a kill, you throw out a smash attack. And for some characters, this can be an alright strategy. I don't know, some of the Fire Emblem characters, you can do okay with this, and some other characters, but if your character doesn't have great smash attacks and you're just throwing them out and right and left, you're just going to get punished again and again and again, and essentially throw away a lot of your leads unless your opponent just makes a giant mistake. And that really sucks. So what can you do instead of just chucking out a ton of smash attacks? Well, a good thing you can do right here is learn what of your other moves actually kill. And it could be killing in 2 ways. One way could be, for example, a Roar back air, which just kills very early if you hit the sweet spot. But another way could be moves that set up into kills later on. For example, a Squirtle back air. The Squirtle back air will probably never actually kill by itself. It doesn't have that much knockback, but it'll hit the opponent off stage, which from there you can then use your down B, switch into Ivysaur, and then hit your opponent with a down air or forward air and edge guard them. There's a lot of different options here that you can learn with your characters, and honestly, just try to find out what can either A, edge guard, or B, just straight up kill other than your smash attacks. This is 100% character dependent. Just go into training mode, see what moves kill, see when they kill, or see what moves just hit your opponent very far off stage. Both of those are strong, but if you can learn how to do this and not just rely 100% on smash attacks all the time, you're going to be able to just get more kills more often and be a lot less easy to read. If you're just using smash attacks, then I know what you're going to do. I know your one move that you're going to pull out, 2 to 3 moves, I guess, if you use all your smashes. While if you have a ton of different options, it's really hard for me as the opponent to know what to do. Another thing that I really don't see just about anybody talking about, and I don't know how many people do this, but I think it's very important, is to actually think about your current matchup before you get into the game. Now, if you're going to a tournament, this is even easier because you have a few seconds where your opponent picks their character and then you can kind of think about it for the next 2 games. But even playing online and playing against random people, you have that whole loading screen showing you what your opponent picked and, the lag probably after before the game starts. And that gives you a good amount of time to think about who you're playing, what your options are, and what your opponent's playing and what their options are. Now, I've been playing a lot of Mii Gunner as a secondary in this game, honestly, and this can be a really good idea. If I'm playing versus a really close range character, I can try to remember to myself, okay, go for a lot of neutral air, try to get a lot of jabs out, and hopefully try to space my opponent out. While on the other hand, if I'm playing versus somebody like Snake, I could say, hey, that strategy doesn't work at all, I should probably not go for that. Instead, I should spam a lot of missiles, play really defensively, put down a lot of my down B bombs, and keep him out as much as possible and try to break through his own defenses with my further range defenses. This is really important, I think, because if you have a general game plan before every single game of what you're going to do, you don't really have to just randomly throw out attacks and just play like you always play. You won't really autopilot because you'll know, this is kind of what I want to do. Now, for a lot of people, I'm going to say this might be a little too hard to figure out on the fly, which, it is kind of difficult. So what you might want to do instead of just, trying to figure it out randomly is maybe get a Discord going or maybe get a Google Docs going where you write down all the different characters that you're playing versus, and then you write down essentially 3 main things. What should I do versus this character? What should I avoid doing against this character? And how can I maybe exploit this character with one really good move I have, or which one of my moves just straight out beat my opponent? That can be a good idea to give yourself just some basic information on this character, and of course you can add some more stuff later on, but it'll help you know exactly what you want to do, what you want to focus on, and of course you don't have to do the same thing a bajillion times in a row, but I think this is just honestly one of the main things that's been helping me a lot, making so that I learn the matchups a lot faster, and honestly I'd definitely recommend it to you if you want to get a little bit better. The final thing I'm going to say right here is something that might sound kind of counterintuitive, but honestly has helped me a ton and improve a ton. And this applies to literally every single fighting game, but in Smash Ultimate, you're just as much. And that is to focus on your opponent instead of focusing on yourself, at least for the majority of the time. Now, of course, you do have to make sure that you're not killing yourself. You do have to make sure that you're trying to space the best as possible and that you have a good control of your character. And as you play your character more, you're probably gonna have to put less and less attention on yourself. But if you can focus on your opponent, it's going to help you so much. And I know it's gonna be kind of awkward at first because again, you wanna look at yourself. You wanna make sure you're doing everything optimally. But if you're just looking at yourself, then you aren't knowing anything that your opponents are doing. You aren't seeing any of their strategies, you aren't seeing any of their mistakes, and you won't be able to punish those. Instead, you'll just be playing the most automatic, normal neutral as you possibly can, just pretty much trying to out-neutral them instead of using any mind games. And while that can work, a lot of the times you're doing that while your opponent is looking at you and they're figuring out what you're doing and they will capitalize on that while you're not really getting any better. You'll especially see as the games go on, as the more times you play someone, the more and more you're going to start losing if you're never focusing on your opponent, because they're going to get, picking up on your habits, be able to punish you for those, kill you earlier for those, and you aren't. So what you want to do is just simply put, start focusing on your opponent every single game. See what they're doing. If they're going for a lot of neutral airs, let's say it's Falco, you could say, hey, maybe I should space a little bit further back and go for some of my own far range moves. If they're going for a ton of grabs, you could say, hey, maybe I want to try to challenge those grabs with either like a jab or run away from them and then run towards them. If they're going for a lot of shields, because you've been noticing they've been doing that, maybe don't run up and just attack or run up and jab. Instead, run up quite a bit and then go for a grab. Really, this just kind of is the mental game between you and your opponent. And I think honestly, this is probably one of the funnest things to do in Smash Ultimate and in every single Smash game, but you do have to put in a good amount of effort. This is honestly one of those things where if you're autopiloting, you can't really do this because you're not going to be getting any information and you're probably just going to be playing a bit worse if you aren't thinking about it at all. But if you do put in the effort, if you are really trying to figure out what your opponent's doing and focusing on them, you're going to do a lot better, be able to punish them a lot more, and it's just, by far, I think one of the most important things to learn to do. And there you guys go. Those are all the ways that I'm going to tell you guys that you can actually do a little bit better in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, this can be either online versus local friends or in tournaments. And I feel like this kind of just helps, essentially in every single way. Now, myself personally, I'm working a lot on all of these. I feel like I am just, have a lot of room to improve, but, I fucking get a little bit better and better every single day. And I hope that some of these tips help you a little bit as well. That all said though, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your own opinions about this topic. Top of the screen right now is a card for playlists of more Smash Ultimate discussion videos, and as well some why you should main videos talking about why you should main certain characters. So hope you guys enjoy those. As always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a smashing day. So thanks for sticking around this long. I wanted to make a really quick channel update at the end of this video, kind of talking about what I'm going to be doing, the schedule and everything like that. Now,
Essentially what my plan is for right now is to make one why you should main video per week, pretty much as I've been doing forever, every Saturday, and then 1 to 2 how to play X character. Now these are generally just going to be me showing off every single move on a certain character, my general game plan on how to play them, and essentially a little bit more advanced than the why you should main, but probably quite a bit less edited, so I can get a few of those out a week and hopefully help you guys out trying to learn different characters. And finally, I'm going to probably do one discussion video a week. Now, if you do notice, I'm not really going to do way too many character analysis videos for a while, because I feel like in general we kind of know enough where me making them isn't really giving people that much information. You kind of know everything, you know, at that basic level. So I kind of want to move on from those, and this is going to be my basic schedule. As well as this, I do want to add a little bit of streaming in. My internet does sometimes just not work at all, but I think that would be super fun and give me a real reason to start practicing this game a lot, to play it a ton, and to just kind of interact with you guys. So if you want to see that, tone down in the comment section down below. Anyways, roll the end credits.